All right, we ready, guys? Somebody's gonna hit record. And we should be good.
Good to go.
But no, he didn't get it.
Okay, we will call the 577th meeting of the Planning Board of the Village of Depew to order at 7:04. We'll start with the pledge to the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, we apologize for the later start due to some technical difficulties here. Can we have the roll call, please?
Member Soha.
Here.
Member Fedorovich.
Here.
Member Matuzak.
Here.
Member Spencer.
Right.
Chairman Maciejewski.
Here. Notification of emergency exits, please.
The emergency exits are located to my left and to the rear of the room. In the event of an alarm or emergency, please move in an orderly fashion to the exits and evacuate the building.
Thank you. So we have two items on the agenda for tonight. The first one is for the property located at 5801 Transit Road. Can we have the legal notice, please?
Legal notice, Village of Depew Planning Board. Please take notice that the Village of Depew Planning Board will hold a meeting on Thursday, March 5th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Pre-board meeting begins at 6:30 p.m. in the conference room in the council chambers of the Municipal Building, 85 Manitou Street, Depew, New York. To consider the application for submission by Skeen and Associates on behalf of Adele Ali for property located at 5801 Transit Road, Depew, New York. The following matters to be reviewed. They're requesting the following: a special use permit to open and operate a smoke and vape shop. The current zoning is C2 Shopping Center District.
Thank you. Excuse me. Who's here representing this project? Okay, could you come forward to the podium, please? State your name and address for the record.
First name is Adele, last name is Ali. I am the owner of the establishment at 5801 Transit Road.
Okay. Could you present to this body what you are proposing?
Well, it's been there for about 2 years, a little over 2 years. We've always operated in good faith. We've never had a problem. I just wanted to do the right thing and actually apply for something that you guys brought up. And as you said, I was the first one to apply, so I'm kind of happy about that.
Okay. So are you the proprietor of the business also?
I'm the owner.
Yes. Okay. So it looks like it's a multi-item store. It's not just
Right.
vape materials?
Exactly,
Okay. So one thing that came up in our pre-meeting, when the village enacted the law for dispensaries and vape shops, one of the provisions is that they have to be 500 feet from a school, a daycare, them type of facilities. And obviously, this one is not. And I guess I'm going to kind of lean on Sam for some comments before we open it up to the board here.
I guess we could just push it to the legal department for a couple questions before we move forward. So just as a matter of administrative thing, does your landlord know you're here tonight?
Yes.
Okay, great. If you don't mind, and it wouldn't be prohibitive of our decision tonight, but please provide us some kind of authorization from your landlord, just allowing me to go in front of the
I'm sure if you look in the lease, it says that
You're allowed to go to zoning
I mean, you mean zoning, or is it allowed to be as?
or planning, so you're allowed to. Well, this isn't a substantive change to the property.
Right. It's always been the same thing.
Right.
2.5 years now.
Okay. And when did you first learn of this requirement?
4 months ago or so.
Okay.
I got the.
So, what I'm
that came
gonna-
to see me, and we talked a bunch
What
of times, and I told him that I was going to do the right thing. I'll just make sure to apply and be here.
Okay, and you did. So what I'm going to instruct the board to do is use your discretion in our code, which allows you to waive certain proximity requirements for pre-existing businesses. And if you're comfortable, consider this business a pre-existing business because it was not aware of our local law restricting the proximity when it opened and operated in excess of 2 years. And there's really an unclean hands argument to be made against the village if we were to enforce a law that we chose not to enforce for over 2 years. So in my opinion, I think you can waive certain proximity requirements if you feel so inclined based on the pre-existing business provision in our local law. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
And I'll get the exact section for the record.
And if there's any guidelines that you need us to do, because I'm aware that there's a daycare not too far, we're more than happy to oblige by any.
Well, short of moving your business 300 feet to a new location.
That I get.
don't think there's ways to comply with that, but it would certainly be different if someone from the daycare was here telling us that there were problems. So I'm talking about local law section 83-6, which allows this board to, in its sole discretion, waive any proximity requirements for any business that has existed.
Very good. Thank you. Questions from the board? We already did legal? Code enforcement? Kate?
No, back in, I don't remember the exact date and time, but in the fall, I had sent out notices to all of the existing smoke and vape shops that, opened before we had made our law. And like I said before, this gentleman is the only one who has submitted an application. So,
We thank you for that.
yeah.
No problem.
I would also
Got it.
like to add that I have never had a or anything from the daycare, from any neighbors
We try to do
who
the right
are,
thing.
who are over by him. So, which is more than I can say for a couple of other places.
Correct. Okay. Fire department, chief, anything?
Nothing.
Any public concerns or comments? Okay, at this time, a motion would be in order to make a recommendation to the board.
I, Member Fedowitz, make a motion to accept the submittal. Do I need to state the?
Make a recommendation to the village board.
To make a recommendation, but do I need to read the local law that Sam stated?
I think that should be in the motion.
We're covered. It's in.
We're
You just
covered.
have to say special use permit though.
Yeah.
Okay, I, Member Fedowitz, make the motion.
Well, I think we should say dispensing with or waiving the proximity requirements. I think that should be noted.
Okay, I, Member Fedowitz, make a motion to recommend the special use plan with a stipulation of waiving the local proximity law for the existing business.
Great.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
On a motion by Member Federovich, seconded by Member Matuzak, to make a recommendation to the village board to grant a special use permit. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Member Soha?
Yes.
Member Federovich?
Yeah.
Member Matuzak?
Yes.
Member Spencer?
Yes.
Chairman Maciaski?
Yes. 5 yes, motion's carried. Thank you, and good luck in your
Guys,
business.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck.
Okay, the second item on the agenda is for the property located at 0 Brunswick, 0 Conway, and 66 Brunswick. Can we have the legal notice, please?
Legal notice, Village of Depew Planning Board. Please take notice that the Village of Depew Planning Board will hold a meeting on Thursday, March 5th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Pre-board meeting begins at 6:30 p.m. in conference room in the council chambers of the Municipal Building, 85 Manitou Street, Depew, New York, to consider the application for submission by Kenneth Zoltish of Greenman Peterson Incorporated on behalf of Legacy Lane Properties LLC for properties located at 0 Brunswick Road, 0 Conway Street, and 66 Brunswick Road. SBL number 115.06-3-8.1, 115.06-3-8.2, 115.06-3-9, 115.06-3-13, Depew, New York. The following matters to be reviewed. They're requesting the following Permission to subdivide multiple lots at 0 Brunswick Road, 0 Conway Street, and 66 Brunswick Road. The current zoning is R2, two-family and multifamily residential district.
Okay, for the record, could you state your name and address, please?
Yes. Good evening. My name is Ken Zalch. I'm with the engineering firm GPI, 4950 Genesee Street, Buffalo, New York.
Could you give this body again the overview of what you're
Sure.
proposing?
Certainly. So here in front of you tonight to request an approval of a 8-lot subdivision. As was stated, this is between Brunswick and Conway Avenue. We're proposing 8 buildable lots, and then 1 lot will remain for the existing home that's on the property that will now be subdivided out on its own property, containing all the improvements therein. 2 of the lots front Conway, those are 75 feet wide. 6 of the lots will front Brunswick at 60 feet wide. This development will tie into existing infrastructure located along both streets. That goes for the water line, sanitary sewer. We've prepared detailed engineering plans, submitted them to the village. The village engineer has reviewed, offered comments. We've adjusted, responded, and I believe at this time, the village engineer has no further comments as it relates to the engineering concerns on the property. One item to note that I'll just show you here is that as we were getting into the property with our survey, it was identified that there is a town storm, or village storm sewer that does run right across our property here, coming from a receiver here and going basically diagonal across the property. We identified that as a 36-inch storm line, and those receivers that it's connected to are bricks, so the entire line and receivers themselves are old, very old because they're brick. Standard these days is precast. As part of this project and in working with the village engineer, we are going to be replacing that in its entirety and rerouting it. We'll be using new modern materials. The storm receivers and manholes will be replaced with precast concrete, which is much better than the brick that you have there today. And the new pipe will be HDPE plastic, which is standard for storm pipe in any new development and along any roadway as well. So we think, certainly we're installing some new homes here, new buildable lots, but I feel like we're also looking to improve the infrastructure that's on site. And to our knowledge, too, to that point, everything that we've gone through in terms of title, in terms of survey, the village has no rights, had no easement over that storm sewer on our property. So with this development moving forward, we will be providing public drainage easements to the village now so that they can access that storm system in case anything were ever to be blocked or any issues to ever occur on it. As of right now, with that being existing, you have no rights. I'm sure no one would refuse to have you access the property. But we are essentially cleaning things up from what they were likely decades ago when it was installed. And can certainly answer any questions the board may have. We've also been in front of the board as well as the village board for rezoning, where we rezoned the northern portion from commercial to residential, just cleaning up some things that essentially were on the property and likely legacy issues that have been there for quite some time.
Where are you moving that storm sewer line to?
So the storm sewer line, right now, here's the existing manhole. We're bringing it down the road where we're going to be putting in a receiver. We're running it between the property lines along the back here, on the side property line, and then back to another manhole here. We have provided, the appropriate easements and working with the village engineer to make sure that the village will have access to it.
Could you point out to the folks behind you there where that line is going
Yeah,
to go?
could you just turn that easel to the...
Yeah, no problem. So, you can see that this kind of diagonal line running right across that entire property is
From what street to what street?
This is Brunswick here, Conway up here. So, Tops will be up here. There's a large house in the driveway.
Yes.
All right, so this is the old line. The new line will just be running throughout our development on our property, and then reconnecting back there with all the material. That's correct.
Okay, and your request for coming before this board tonight was just for the subdivision of the lots, correct?
Yes, I believe we've gone through other processes. I don't know what else would be left beyond subdivision of the lots here at this time.
So the concept approval was granted. Did you have site plan already?
I mean, generally, at least with other communities, you get the concept, and then subdivision, there is no site plan, because those are usually more of the commercial developments.
They tell us.
Sure.
We just tell them if it's legal or not.
So, yes, we did concept, they rezoned, this is specifically for the subdivide. I do believe that you would probably have to come back for a final, only because we would still require the new surveys for each new parcel.
Okay.
And then, obviously, everything else is outlined in here. I don't really think there's too many I don't think there were any details that were missed. The only thing would just be the new surveys on the new plots.
Yeah.
They would need new addresses. So it's,
So, and I know, certainly we'll follow whatever process the village lays out. I know, just given the nature of the village of Depew, you guys do not see many subdivisions come through your doors. For most communities, as we go through the subdivision process, we get the subdivision approved by the municipality. Then we have to take the subdivision map, which is this first one here. And then this would actually get reviewed by Erie County and then filed with the Erie County Clerk's Office, which will allow them to essentially create the new SBLs, the new properties. They work with the village assessor in this case to identify those properties. The village assessor is usually the one that will assign addresses at that point too. So that's, typically what we work with. Usually when we're doing the individual lot surveys, that's essentially when we're selling the lands, but, if that's something that the village requires up front, is having those 8 individual lot surveys, we can certainly look to prepare that. This subdivision map has all the information that you otherwise would have on an individual lot survey. It's just on one plan.
Kate, we have no notes then from engineering, correct?
no, like I said, Don is on vacation, all that stuff is in his email. I do recall, Joe Wetzel, not providing comment. Obviously, this was issued to them as well. I just have one question. How big is this lot in total? Did we ever speak about a seeker?
I know we submitted seeker early on, I want to say with the concept.
Was it
I
for
think secret was
concept?
for the concept.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
That's all I have then.
Okay. I see on your plan you are installing a new hydrant.
Yes, so there's actually 2 hydrants
Correct.
that are being proposed. Oddly enough, I know I can speak for Brunswick because I did have to check this out. There's about 1,000 feet between hydrants on Brunswick. Now, granted, that is the Village of Lancaster side, not the Village of Depew side. But 1,000 feet is not acceptable. By standards, you're usually looking at 400 feet, 400 to 600 feet for hydrants. So being 1,000 feet and introducing new homes here, there is going to be a new hydrant, certainly for the safety of honestly the existing residents as well as our proposed. We also have a new hydrant on Conway. I don't have the exact linear feet distance between them, but again, it was an issue where those hydrants need to be installed to meet standard fire code, and they're not there. Amazingly enough, they're not there today, meaning that those homes in the middle here are, while they could likely be serviced by long runs, certainly something like this will be beneficial for everyone. We have reached out to the Erie County Water Authority.
That was my next question.
Yes, they have agreed to install the hydrants because it is a deficiency in their system. So they have agreed to install the hydrants. They have just asked that both the Village of Lancaster and Village of Depew acknowledge and basically accept the yearly maintenance fees that would come with those.
That would require a board resolution.
That would require a board resolution. I believe it would likely come from the village board, not the planning board.
Correct.
So we're certainly looking, we just got that notice within probably about the last week, so we'll certainly be looking to work with both villages to make sure they're okay with taking on that yearly maintenance fee, but honestly, in the best interest, even if this development wasn't to go forward, just having another hydrant within a street when you've got over 1,000 feet between them certainly would be prudent.
No, as the fire department hydrant and water committee chairperson, I'm in favor of that, and I probably the chief would be too.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. Okay, questions from the board?
I have one. So your company's gonna build all the homes on this and then sell them off? You're not gonna sell the lots individually to, and then have them?
Yeah, so my understanding is that the developer is developing the lots as well as building the homes.
So they won't be sold till they're
Yeah, my understanding is they are not necessarily looking, because I have spoken with the architect and everything like that, so they're not looking to, get this approved and then sell lots to a Morano or Ryan or somebody like that.
Any plans to seek condominium status for this little subdivision? here?
No, certainly not that I'm aware of, and something like this generally would not be pursued for a condo status. That's usually reserved for the private infrastructure, lots serviced by private infrastructure.
I've seen it more and more in smaller and smaller projects. People love the tax loophole.
Oh, I understand it. It's out of my control as the
Yeah.
site engineer, but we generally recommend to anyone who ever asks that if there's public infrastructure, you do not pursue it because you spoil it for the rest of us, when there is a true justification for it when you have a private road or private water line and you have a homeowners association maintaining that and the municipality doesn't have to. That's when it makes sense.
Any other questions from the board? Sam, anything else, Headley?
No, nothing else from me. Just, we have a very simple decision to make tonight. This isn't the whole site.
Code enforcement, Kate?
I've reviewed the subdivisions, they all meet the minimum standards for that area, so I'm okay with it.
Okay. And you don't have nothing from engineering, so, fire department, chief?
Nothing.
Okay, we'll move on to public concerns and comments.
Just one question, if I could.
If you
Bernie,
come up,
yeah,
please give us
if
your
you
name
come
and
up, Bernie,
address. Thank you.
State your name and
For the
address.
record, Bernard Farrell, 78 Brunswick Road. Just my question to this gentleman is, you know, sanitary sewer that also runs diagonal. You didn't address it here, because I live here. I know exactly where it is, and it runs, there was a person doing a survey, this was back a few months ago, I talked to her, and she goes, oh my God, there's a sewer here. You're aware of it?
Yes,
It's not labeled here.
Yeah, I can address that.
Okay. Because it angles, that angle this way. Okay. I know you're familiar with it, Ronnie.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Your water jetted it many times.
But, yeah, we use sanitary
Yeah.
sewer service,
Okay.
that does come across here. I did not speak to that yard correct here, looking to reroute that, bring that over to the property line. And, just like the storm sewer, we're looking to replace that, the PVC, no longer the clay tile
Okay.
pipe, that's there. And basically get the improvements, I know we worked, again, with the village engineer, he consulted with, either Don, I believe, potentially the building department, just
Okay.
to make sure that, or someone at TPW, to make sure that they still have what they need in terms of access, cleanouts, siding for them to televise it. We do still need to, it sounds like, in talking with Erie County, they want to review this, but we have worked through with the village and we were aware of that.
Because my driveway is right here.
Okay.
My sanitary goes right there. It's because I was tied into this one, as was the group home, as was Mr. Fran Jones' house. They're all tied into this manhole right here. Mine was also tied into that. I had it replaced about 5 years ago. Now mine runs right along this driveway, so it's pretty much a few feet away from that one. But just as a point of reference.
You are proposing putting a whole new line in, correct?
That is correct, yeah, we would no longer.
That should help you out.
Yeah.
Well, it'll probably run parallel to mine,
Correct.
just
Yeah.
on the other side of the property line, and then tie into the 10, I believe it's a 10-inch main Yeah, 10 or 12.
We call it out as an 8-inch here.
8-inch,
but,
yeah.
You know, sometimes those do increase
Okay.
as you go down.
Yeah.
You know, down slope. So, yeah, we would be replacing those, what's essentially, again, another service that was on the property that had no easements to it that we could find. So we are cleaning that up as well in terms of providing a new PVC line and an easement for that, so that way everything's kind of cleaned up, recognized from a legal standpoint as well.
Okay. And what's the, I see it's a 25-foot setback. What's the depth of these? Do you know offhand?
Of the homes
Yes,
themselves?
yeah.
So this is kind of a, I don't want to say that this is an exact house footprint of what they're building.
Okay.
When we do it, it's kind of more typical. We can have something that was kind of suggested to us from the architect. I don't know
Okay.
whether or not it'll actually be, you know, the real footprint or not. I would read to say these are somewhere between probably 50,
It looks to be.
you know, about 50 feet deep.
Okay.
But it may not be exactly this. We have to put in something so that we can help understand what the grading of the future lots will be.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to sum it up? Okay.
I have a
Next.
question. I'm Karen Farrell, I'm his wife. We live together, mostly. Yeah. we do. I got a couple of questions more aesthetic than anything. Is there gonna be a sidewalk? Wondering about that. Is there gonna be a sidewalk along
We
that
are
side?
not planning on a sidewalk at this
Okay,
time
so it'll-
because, we looked at it on Brunswick. There are no sidewalks on this side. There's
Right.
sidewalks on the opposite side. We looked at it. Sometimes communities want us to put it in anyways. In this case, when we looked at it running north, there's no, ideally you would be able to get one up through Tops, but the way that they have their fence and the landscaping there's no possible way you could fit a
I'm
sidewalk.
okay with it. It's,
And
it's
so,
fine. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Last year, for some reason, I was under the impression there were gonna be 9 houses.
So
Am I mistaken
at
about
one
that?
point, there was, and I believe on the concept plan, there was a house that was identified potentially on
Right,
this existing
Yes.
parcel here.
yep,
That's already an existing parcel. We did not include it as part of our subdivision. And speaking with the developer, I know they are, you know, they've been working on this house, trying to get it for sale. They are hoping to package both those together
okay,
and sell them together. If that does not work, they may still come in, but they don't need a subdivision approval for that because this is already a separate parcel, but they are hoping to basically have
okay.
that
All right, so you're saying more like 8 right now.
eight new buildable properties, yes.
And I'm wondering, Bernie and I have talked about this a little bit, about a possible fence between our home and the first home that you build. A fence along there.
I can't commit to
I don't know
anything.
who I would ask about
you
that,
know,
but
it's
who do
something
I
can
ask
bring
about
up-
that?
It's something I can bring up to the developer.
Okay.
But it's.
I mean, it's
you
just,
know,
that's just a
something I can-
personal thing. You know, we kind of like a little privacy there,
I understand.
you know. That's it. Are you happy?
I'm always happy with it.
Any other public concerns or comments? Okay, with that, a motion would be in order.
I, Member Matuzak, make a motion, make a recommendation to the village board to accept the subdivide of the multiple lots on Brunswick and Conway.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
On a motion by Member Matuzak, seconded by Member Soha, to make a recommendation to the village board to okay the subdivision of the lots on Brunswick and Conway. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Member Soha.
Yes.
Member Federovich.
Yes.
Member Matuzak. Member Spencer.
Yes.
Chairman Maciejewski.
Yes, 5 yes. Motion's carried. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your comments, too. We appreciate it. With that, a motion is in order to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Member Soha, second by Member Spencer, to adjourn the meeting at 7:33 PM. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, hold up a second.
It's a great big house, that one big house, parcels.
Start.